Hey everybody, JB here from Soccer Dad Pod. I have an abbreviated episode for you today featuring two stories related to our soccer community. Number one, Jared and I on Friday night headed out to the family arena to support the St. Louis Ambush in their final run to the playoffs, which they accomplished last night, Sunday, and will be heading out to California for the MASL playoffs. Arguably the hottest team in the league right now on a run, and they are peaking at the right time. They will be playing in the first round Chihuahua Savage on Friday, April 4th. So be sure to go to stlouisambush.com or go to the MASL page and support the team, follow them on socials, and I believe there will be live streams of the game as well that you can catch. So go support the Ambush. Congratulations. Prior to the game, though, there was a fundraising game, a charity game of sorts, to help support teammate, friend, fan of the game, player of the game, Officer Nathan Spiess. He was the officer that recently lost his limb in a tragic accident while doing his job here in the city of St. Louis. His teammates through the Dueling For Lincoln crew showed up to play Ambush 2. Family, friends showed up as well, and everybody got to celebrate him, raise some money for him by watching the game we all love. So it was a really great tribute. In this episode, you're going to hear from Coach Donnie Alberti, who had a special relationship with Nathan that he disclosed. And then we brought on Robbie Christo and Mitch Hunt to talk about not only the Ambush, but Nathan, dueling, and more. So be sure to give us a like, review, follow, share, any one of those things. And in the show notes today, I will have a link to the GoFundMe page to help Officer Spiess into his recovery and beyond. Thank you for listening. Now, here's the show. What's up, people? We're back. Soccer Dad Pod. Coming in with a classic on-the-spot inspiration from our first guest today. This is going to be a special episode. This is a breaking news sort of an episode where we're going to talk about some ups, talk about some downs, talk about some recovery, talk about helping out one of our own. We're going to run through some guests today. We are out here at Family Arena, home of the St. Louis Ambush. Got a game tonight versus, help me out, guys. Milwaukee Wave. Important game. We're going to get into that in a second here. The silky voice that you just heard is clearly not Jared. Much more refined than my typical co-host. And Zach himself, he is also, called him on the way here. He's going to a U12 far South County, south of Arnold, Friday night game. So he's in a good mood right about now.
I'm sure he is.
Joining me from the Ambush and other institutions here in St. Louis over the past few years. We're going to get into a little bit of that. Coach Donnie Alberti, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, JB. I appreciate you having me. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, man. So coming in here with Foreigner, hot-blooded, in honor of your Vision Quest reference.
Yeah, today was a little bit of a nerve-wracking day, so I figured why not relax and watch a classic Vision Quest.
So do you have like game day superstitions, nerves, jitters, socks, underwear?
No, not too much anymore. Not as a coach. As a player, I did, but as a coach, it's just kind of make sure all the buttons are buttoned up and that we're ready to go and that I've thought of everything I can possibly think of.
Yeah. So it's been close to a year.
Yep. Since
we last spoke. A lot of changes in your world. Talk about that last season. Let's lead with the last first, and then we'll talk about what's coming up next.
So you want to talk about Fompon?
Yes.
Okay. So interesting season. It's one of those things you kind of just appreciate every moment. Just did whatever I could to make sure it was good for the guys, and it was fun. Dealt with some injuries. Didn't have as good a season as we wanted, but ended. We went down. We had to go down to Spalding and win on a Wednesday night. Went down, won that match. earned a trip back down to Spalding on Saturday, which my captain blew his ACL with 5 minutes to go in the game. So it was kind of one of those, it's going to be a rough go on Saturday. But, I think all the guys didn't regret coming out, which was my main goal was, I just want you to feel like, hey, it was worth it coming out. Tight knit group. Never want to go through anything like that again, for sure, and I'm sure they don't either. But
well, for the listeners, just a quick catch up. Fontbonne University, obviously, a long-time St. Louis institution, closed its doors. In this kind of crazy college landscape as it is, and you put it to the team prior to the last season, like, hey, there's nothing beyond this, and you ended up getting the loyalists to come back, and you had one last season, and
yeah, no, we had 21 guys, so we couldn't bring anyone in recruits or anything. I had 21 guys that could return, and 20 of them came back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was, it was worth it, and family bonds forever for sure.
Well, let's talk about the here and now next. Here and now, as one of the coaching staff here for the St. Louis Ambush, the season has been interesting, to say the least. Let's just be blunt out of the gate. The majority of it, a little bit of a struggle, but you guys have found your footing, and you found it at the right time, almost in hockey fashion, right? Talk a little bit about the season and where we're at tonight versus the Wave here and what's at stake.
Yeah, so it's kind of a game of runs. We started off, we lost a couple of heartbreakers early on, couldn't quite find our footing, went into a trip to Mexico, which is a tough place to go, in mid-January. Lost 2 there, and then went up to Los Angeles and Empire and played there and lost, and just kind of had a come to Jesus moment with our guys. And we made a couple changes, and it's kind of worked out for us, and we're kind of riding the wave right now for sure.
So let's talk about a friend, good friend of mine, actually. I will call him a good friend at this point. He was an all-star this year. Continues to just totally carry that incredible ponytail. Mr. Will SK just constantly is on the highlight reel or near it. Talk about Will's role so far this year and what you're wanting out of your captain here going into the final run.
Yeah, I think this whole thing is kind of built around him. We don't really want to tell him that, but it's he's the man. He's in his prime, and everybody kind of realizes he's our guy. He's very much a transition, quick type player, and we made some changes and surrounded him with other guys that are like that. We're very much a transition-based team now, and he's just a guy you can kind of lean on. Hey, we need a goal. He goes and gets it. He's a very professional guy. He comes to training every day and trains hard and kind of leads by example, which you really need from your captain. Doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it's impactful, and just a great guy. And as I would not trade him for any other player in the league. I wouldn't go as far as say he's the best, but
who's got better hair though, Paolo or Will?
I mean, they're both very attractive men. It makes me sick, to be honest.
A little not fair, right?
Yeah, for sure. They got the genetic. They hit the lottery in the genetic.
The chiseled soccer look.
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys are pretty two regular season games left, correct?
Yes.
All right, so you mathematically kind of control your own destiny.
Yes.
You actually have another option if others stumble, but looks like you're kind of sitting in a little bit of a catbird seat going into the playoffs. Realistically, with the way the season has gone, where's the mindset? What's the hope? What are we focusing on, assuming playoff game 1 comes down the pipe?
Well, first of all, I've been with the Ambush for 5 years now, and this is the best we've ever been, the best run we've ever had. The mindset is very, we're all kind of flying high right now. Basically, we win these last 2 matches, we're in. So, we put ourselves in a good position. We're also, you kind of alluded to it, if we win one and another team loses, we're in there too. So, we have a good chance here. And, going in, we feel like we can play with any of these teams in this league. So, as long as we can get into the dance, I mean, there's no reason that we don't believe that we're, one of the teams to beat.
Yeah. Let's talk about another kind of I don't know, would you call it a spinoff? Would you call it a sister team? You guys announced a little while back the introduction coming up in the later this year of a USL2 team, Ambush USL2. Talk a little bit about that team, a little bit of the why. kind of what the thought process is, what strategy, and what you're hoping to kind of glean out of that level, that team.
Yeah, no, there's quite a few reasons why. The first one is we have a loyal following, and we basically for 12 years now we participate for 5 months and then we take 6 months off and then we get back at it and we got to remind everybody who we are. So just to kind of keep our name out there in the summer, works out perfect from a scheduling standpoint. That team will start training early May and start playing matches in May. May 10th is our first match at Missouri Baptist University. And it just kind of gives us a little bit more of a year-round presence in the market. So that's the first reason. Second reason, from a scouting perspective, it's an amateur league. It's USL 2.
Right.
So I can bring in guys that I've been looking at. We can get to know them. A little bit more of an elaborate tryout, if you will. It's going to be high-level Division 1, Division 2 type guys. The types of guys that we want to maybe progress into our system here.
What's been the response as far as like inbound calls, inquiries from, because St. Louis is a fairly incestuous community when it comes to soccer. You announced the team. There's a couple USL2 options within our region. You guys are now the newest to the party. What's been the inbound interest from players that are looking to get into it?
Quite a bit. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have reached out that, hey, how do I get involved? It's almost embarrassing. Like I can handpick guys that wouldn't even talk to me when I was at Fompon, so it's kind of a weird dynamic.
Oh, you love me now, don't you?
Well, not really. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not that type of guy. But
that's those. All right. I'll say it.
Those are the types of guys that are reaching out, and those are the types of guys you want, because it's I want guys that want to be professional soccer players, and that's what the USL2's motto is we want guys that want to do this as a career. Not everybody will, obviously, but that's those are the types of guys they're looking for sure.
Do you have maybe like lay in bed at night kind of a dream about the whole USL relationship? USL2 in particular was where you guys are coming in at. But the big news at the top of USL was the the announcement of the Division 1 program, Division 1 league. They, roughly 6 to 8 teams, which is Division 1 for those of you that are listening. That's the same level as MLS. USL already has the championship, which is the current highest level, Tampa, et cetera, Charleston, teams like that. And then USL 1, Pro Rel. They're going to be moving around.
Yes.
Now, the alphabet and numbers run in order. So if they're going Division 1, USL Championship, USL 1, if they expand it, that would be theoretically, USL 2. Is that like... I know it's not realistic because it's so early in this process, but that's kind of a cool prospect to be thinking about.
I mean, it's just something to shoot for if you really want to go that route. I don't think that's really our current goal. It might become our goal.
Yeah, because you're talking about stadium, you're talking about full-on facility and wages, and maybe not necessarily. I mean, there's pub league teams that make it up into the English FA.
So I think we're actually geared, because we're a professional organization already. We know how to manage contracts and how to approach it from a professional standpoint. We are geared to maybe move up to USL 1 if we want to. We'd have to, you're talking about stadiums and things like that. There would have to be some things that would have to happen. And from there, then you start talking about maybe get promoted or relegated.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's just a cool another layer. It's just, soccer right now is the gift that keeps on giving. But I think there's also a little bit of chaos that's going along with that.
A lot of chaos. I mean, you can't keep up with the at the youth level, the ECNLs and all those academies and everything. You can't keep up with all that. At semi-pro level, you got 4 or 5 leagues going on in the summer here. I think at the end of the day, I just want to see St. Louis athletes compete and perform, and we want to represent our community and do the best we can to help promote, aspiring professional soccer players, no matter where they come from, to be honest, as long as they're from St. Louis.
Yeah, you were right. Hey, so I want to talk real quick about the game that's going on the field right now. One of the kind of cool stories as far as teams go over the past 2 years is really the introduction and the success of Dueling for Lincoln and their presence in TST. What they were able to do, the popularity of the team itself, kind of representing St. Louis as the St. Louis team. And unfortunately, we're here tonight because one of their own, Nathan Spiess, who is a St. Louis City police officer, he was involved in that just horrific accident, which cost him part of his leg, part of his limb, and he was one of the members of this program, of this team, with these guys. You guys put this together pretty quickly, kind of as a tribute game, charity game. What does it mean to you to see these guys again? They're not ambush players, but they're part of this community. How cool is it to see them out here?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit further than you even know. So my first year at Fompon, Spiess was actually an assistant coach for me. I had recruited him. He went to Fompon instead, and he was my assistant. The next year, my wife got sick. He was always reaching out and everything, and she absolutely loves him. We consider him a member of our family. So it hits us as a family pretty hard. Now, the Dueling for Lincoln guys, we know a lot of them. We've been, we've had some of them in our organization. I know a lot of them. When I came on your show last year, we kind of talked about how they were going to do, and I said, hey, I think they're going to surprise some people.
Yeah,
I knew who they were, and so it's really neat to see the community come together. But you've seen that the soccer community always comes together like that. And for me personally, it means the world that we're able to do this for Nate. I just love the guy. He's an amazing guy. So,
no, it's awesome. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that he was part of your crew. Yeah. So that's super cool. Well, I tell you what, man. I know you guys have a game coming up here. Everybody's got to get their pre-game rituals in line. I don't want to ruin your mojo standing up here with us losers.
No.
Mr. Bertrand just walked in. Now you got even more mojo coming your way. So, Donnie, thanks for joining us, man. Best of luck tonight with the rest of the season and USL 2. Well, we didn't even ask that. USL 2. What's your role with the team?
So right now with the organization, I was just named the general manager.
Okay.
Like a month and a half ago. Kind of in charge of M1, M2, USL 2, just making sure we have a productive environment, an environment that promotes, learning and growth, and, hoping to win matches. And I'm just kind of putting the team together now, the USL 2 team. That's kind of what my role is with that. I'll be an assistant coach, but I don't know how much it's be more managing the program.
It's awesome, man.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on the new role and the playoff run, hopefully coming up right around the corner for the ambush. And we'll see you soon, dude.
I appreciate you being out, JB.
All right, we'll be right back after this break, guys. Like, review, follow, share, Soccer Dad Pod. On our way out, little Vision Quest soundtrack for you. See ya. All right, we're back. Soccer Dad Pod, second part, special episode. Out here at the Family Arena in suburban Kansas City. Just kidding. That's for you, Jared. Out here in God's country.
Upper Bottom Road.
Upper Bottom Road. Got a couple guests here. We're going to do a second segment here, rolling in with a little Prodigy. I got to keep up with DJ Prue over here. Like, he's been thumping early 2000s European house music. So
DJ Prue's got it rocking over there, huh?
Joining us for a second segment here. You recognize the voice, the silky voice, Mr. Jared Bertrand. How's it going, Jared?
Well, it's going good. Little Friday night footy. Playoff implications on the line. We're in a suite. We're having cold bush beer. There's worse places on earth.
Yeah, I'm with you. Also, to my right, from the ambush, former guest, the big guy, Mr. Robbie Crystal. How's it going, dude?
It's going good. It's going good. I've actually lost the name Big Rob. It went to another Big Rob on the team now, so I'm Little Rob now.
Are you?
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like one of those the 6'9" dude who's called Shorty?
If I was guarding you, I try to just work in the Little Rob slang. We'll see how that
That's
would go for me.
Name. You got Big Rob Williamson, and I'm Little Rob now.
And then joining us from the previous game, SLSG, the infamous Mr. Mitch Hunt, also a previous guest, man.
Yeah.
You
Finally get to talk to Jared. Because last time I was on here, I got to talk to Max.
you were interviewed by Mad Max.
I mean, so that was the first.
And let me tell you, Mad Max is a world traveler. You know, he just got back into New York from spending some time in London. I mean, what do they make of this podcast?
Copenhagen.
I'm saying they never stay in town.
Yeah,
They're always
and-
fishing.
Oh, I
or
didn't
doing
tell you.
something.
I didn't tell you Lufthansa picked up the bill. This episode is brought to you by Lufthansa. No, seriously. Robbie, I'm going to start with you, man. We had Donnie on in the first segment. Here we are, game time, wave. Everybody's warming up, getting ready for the game. You've been eyeballing this thing for a while. You're embedded. You're waiting to get healthy to get back on the field. Talk a little bit about the game and what you're hoping to see tonight.
Yeah, boys are locked and loaded, focused. We've had a little bit of success in the last, 7 games, I would say.
I
And
concur.
It's just clicked. Things have clicked. Things are going our way. Look, that was a big trade for us. We got Rob. We got rid of Frank, and we got Rob and Yuri.
Yeah, my question is right out of the gate there. You went there first.
Go straight.
You've played a lot of soccer in your life and had a lot of successes. I know Mitch has coached and played a lot. We've all played the game, and we know how important is the locker room. And it seems like when the trade happened, and not to knock anybody when they're down, the locker room really came together, and you guys are starting to have some success. Can you speak on that?
I plead the fifth. No, but I can't. I mean,
Well, look, I'm gonna give you a little bit of leeway here because the reality is we've all played the game. We've all watched. We all watch the game. We all read, socials. We know sometimes it's not a fit. So with the change, kind of talk about what it meant to the team.
it changed everything. Perspective. I mean, effort, energy, family in the locker room, just camaraderie. It's a different team. From that trade deadline, it's a different team, and you can see it. And the boys are locked in.
Did you watch the first game? And we're going to kick it over to Mitch here, and we'll talk about the first game. But if we're looking for signees, the kid is a little bit long in the tooth. But is Jeff Locker looking at Liam? I mean, Liam can flat out play.
I know Jeff's looked at Dueling For Lincoln. I don't know what the relationship is there, to be honest. But there's definitely a few guys on that team that can play.
Well, I want
help you.
yeah, I want to ask.
watch Mario.
Yeah, I want to ask a follow up on that because Dueling For Lincoln is becoming kind of like a cult. A cult, and with a cult following here. In
I'm part of it. I can't even lie. I'm part of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, kind of the relationship and maybe the synergy between the two. Just talk for a second about what Dueling For Lincoln means to the ambush, vice versa. The competition. Maybe the shit talk, all the fun stuff. How do you view it? Because now you're rostered on both.
I love it. And give me more of it. I want to see the two teams play. Just knock it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Because the guys know each other. And I love both groups. These are my high school buddies I grew up with, and then these are the guys I play pro with now. So it's kind of fun, and I'm in the middle of it. So I can't say much.
Which jersey do you wear?
Usually the Croatian national team one.
Yeah, Mr. Locker, we know who he's playing for. Hey, Mitch, go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, Mitch, talk about the first game. I mean, it looked like the competition was pretty good. You guys came out on top. Doesn't matter who won. It's about the game. But can we talk about why the game was played first? And I'll kick it over to you right away.
Yeah, so the M2, their opponent forfeited, so they were looking for an opponent. Alan Brodrich is buddies with Corey, the M2 coach. So Alan kind of reached out to Tim Menzel and a bunch of guys and recruited a bunch of the dueling guys to play the game in honor of Nate Spiess, the officer that unfortunately was hurt in the line of duty last week. And, it was just all the proceeds for I think there's 100 people here. I think Corey said something like that. So all the checks for all the sales for that tickets. Wow, stuttering on my words here. Is going to go to Nate, and any little thing helps when you have a life-changing injury like Nate had, and he's, one of a kind, and he's a warrior, and we love him, and soccer is a big part of his life. So this was a fun way for us to contribute even more to, his road to recovery.
Dude, that's awesome. It's just another example within our game, in between the game, of the people banding together. And we talked about it a little bit earlier on the after the trade, the locker room coming together. This community is special, and that's just another example. Go ahead, JB.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of curious. Like, obviously, the whole community knows about what had happened. It's such a tragedy. Take a second though, and just talk about like within the circle. Within you guys. Because it's more than just a friend that you play with. You guys spend a lot of time together. You've grown up together. The team, is it looking forward to some of the guys that are preparing for TST and everything? Is this? I hate to say, is it becoming like a flag? Is it becoming a moment or something to build off for the crew?
I do think there's definitely going to be more in like emotions and everything for this TST than there was last year for sure. I know, I'm pretty sure Nate is planning to come and coach, be there on the sideline as part of it. And like you said, it's kind of like the Blues right now, or the Ambush right now. They're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And you hate that it's an injury and a life-changing thing that's happening, but I think there is going to be a lot more fight in everyone just for Nate.
There is something that I know that when there's something to fight for, it's worth more. And that group already had stuff to fight for, but now to fight for a man that was on the front line that lost his leg, I mean, that's life changing, and we all feel sorry, but we are going to fight for him.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Robbie, let's switch it back over here to the Ambush. 2 games. You guys control your own destiny. Talked to Coach Alberti about it. He gave the math. Just from the cheap seats, their front row, assuming you get into the playoffs, how do you feel about it? Give us a little prognosis as to what you think is coming down the road.
You're saying if we get into playoffs, or
Yeah, let's assume you're making the playoffs.
Hey, let's say when we get in the playoffs.
I was going to say that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be diplomatic here.
Look,
You guys can be the arrogant one. I'll be the diplomatic.
It's at the point where anything can happen. Look, and I stand on this. St. Louis Blues fire their head coach, come back, win a Stanley Cup.
2019.
Okay, we didn't fire our head coach, but we clicked.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can see it on the field, and it's changed. And those playoffs, when we get in, we're not there just to be in playoffs.
Well, and you always see this in all the sports that we play and watch, and nobody, I know this, watching the league, knowing of the people in the league, no one wants to play you guys. No one wants to draw you first, and that's got to be exciting. So, bottom line, you guys need to get some shit done tonight, and then maybe scoreboard watch. But
Amen.
Coach Bertrand laying it out.
And maybe get some stuff done again Sunday night, but Sunday may not matter with the math. We're excited to watch the game. Thanks for coming on.
Last question, because I asked Coach Alberti the same thing. Paolo or Will, who's got better hair? Even though you've got a nice high fade right there.
I gotta say, Will SK, man. That's some flowing samurai hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys, look, it's gonna be fun, man. Appreciate you guys coming on. Mitch, I'm sure I'll see you.
Yeah, I'll see you
every weekend,
probably Sunday morning,
every
something
Tuesday,
like that.
Thursday, out on the fields. Robbie, thanks for joining us, man.
Welcome, guys.
Good luck with the rest of the season. Jared, good job. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back. We'll talk some more soccer indoor out here at Ambush Family Arena. Like, review, follow, share. See ya.